What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. Talk about how the market's approaching some very, very critical support and what kind of reaction we may end up getting from this. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends in 2 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. The market got this big sell off after losing some critical support. Now we're approaching the next main support zone, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But just know this, all the manufacturing numbers that came out were very close to expectations. There's not really any other major piece of data that's coming out for the rest of the day. So, that being said, the market's now free from this data. Let's now focus on what's happening with the chart. SPY got this rejection right on the 4-hour time frame. We lost our 50 EMA. This is at 589. We were calling out this support in my morning video. I said that if we lost this, I do anticipate SPY might be coming very close to this zone down here between 585 and 586. And that's what happened so far. So now it's very simple. We have this very, very nice breakout area. This is like where the previous all-time high was. So we're retesting the all-time high. So right here, this is in the 585, 586 area. This right here is going to be our main support. We're going to see if SPY could base right here and try to get a bounce. It's possible, but not a guarantee. So we'll be watching for that very carefully. If we were to lose the 585 area, we're going to be looking for 583 as our next target. That's where we also had previous resistance becoming support. And if that fails, I think we get closer to 580 flat. So 580 would be our next potential target below that. But right now, and the thing is, there's no guarantee we go that low. We're just waiting to see what kind of reaction we get between 585 and 586. Do we get a bounce or not? That's what I'm essentially waiting for. That's why I'm going to be very, very patient for this one. So we're at some key support. We'll have to see if we get a bounce or not. So watch and see at this zone right here where my cursor is. You guys can see on the left side, this is where we had this previous resistance. We'll see if we bounce or not. Otherwise, SPY will just continue to shuffle. So give it a little bit of time to develop. On ES, we are dipping, but notice we have this support zone. So very close to 5,900 is where we had this support, which is previous resistance. This is also aligning very nicely. This also aligns with this previous resistance as well. We have 5890 to 5900 as our support zone on ES. If we lose 5890, I see us dipping to 5867. There's going to be a bigger dump coming. If we hold 5890 to 5900, this could attempt to rebound for 5925, then back up to these higher levels. As of right now, we're shuffling around 5900, so we're waiting to see what kind of reaction we get. This may take a couple of hours to develop. I still think there's a lot of weakness now, so it is possible we get closer to 5890, but watch to see, do we get a bounce off that or not? We're waiting to see how it reacts to this support. And we have to be very patient sometimes. That's the way the market is. Sometimes you have to be very, very patient, give it a couple of hours to develop, and then we'll see what the clearer picture is. Nvda dumped, so we called out 144 on Nvda. I said that if that failed, let's look for 142. That's pretty much exactly where we went to. So if 142 fails us, we're going to easily come down to this gap fill towards 140. If 142 holds, we're going to be trying to retest 144. So as of right now, we might retest the lower 142 area, so give it some time to develop. But if we get that bounce, once we finally start to see a green bar forming, whether it's on the 30 minutes or on the 4-hour time frame, I think the best time frame for the markets right now is the 4-hour. Uh, we'll wait for a couple of hours once this 4-hour candlestick completes and we start to see the next one. Do we get a bounce from there to retest 144, which I think is very possible? We'll see, though. We're waiting to see what kind of reaction we get from supports. Bitcoin is range bound between 90 and 88,000 for the most part. We're just going to continue to shuffle. We did dip to 88,000. Now we're getting bought back up to 90,000. So it's just going to be stuck for now within this range. As far as Tesla goes, Tesla is really outperforming the market because we got lots of good news. Tesla announced a new charging cabinet, which is going to be useful for faster charging. That's a lot more efficient. Then we had another Tesla bull known as Ron Barron come out who said he's very bullish on Tesla. He gave Tesla about a $1,600 price target for within the next 10 years. That was bullish news. That's why Tesla's rebounding. We also dumped really hard already, so this wasn't really a surprise. Now, Tesla did dump to 302, very close to my 300 target before it got the bounce, so it did actually drop more. But then all this bullish news came out afterwards and we're trying to rebound. So we're looking for 323 as resistance and then 328 above that, followed by 330. If we lose 319, we will turn back down. But as of right now, we're looking a little bit more bullish. So Tesla's doing a good job at outperforming the market. NQ looks more bearish. We're approaching this key support. However, near the 200 EMA, the red line you see below, that's 20,525. If that holds, we could attempt to rebound for 20,650. If we lose this, we will be dumping even more. So give it some time to see if this develops. For the QQQ, look a little bit more bearish. This is because tech is selling off, so we did not hold 500. We need to be watching for essentially 497.5. If that fails us, I think that we could be dipping closer to about 495. So hopefully we get a bounce off 497.5, if not a little bit below that. But for now, just know that those are your supports to watch for. We still are dipping on the QQQ, so be careful with it. But we are trying to base at 497.5. We'll see if we bounce or not off of that. Apple's trying to hold 225. If this holds, we could attempt to rebound. I think that it might dip a little bit more, but notice that we're forming this like nice range right over here. Apple's getting bought back up at each of these supports. So you can even draw it out like this. This is like our trend line of support that's like right over here. Excuse me, let me just close this one real quick. And this is kind of like the main support. So I'm just going to draw it out more like this. You guys can see that this is what's holding Apple up. Could dip a bit more before it tries to rebound, but otherwise we're just range bound on Apple, but it's doing a good job. For a few more, we have the IWM. This is looking more bearish, guys. We're continuing to fall. We have this gap to fill down to 226. We need to reclaim 230 and 231. Otherwise, there is a risk of 226. Look at 228 as our first support, 228.5, and then 226 below that. Coin is trying to rebound. We're going to see if we hold above 286 or not. If we do hold above this, we're looking for essentially 300. If we lose 286, we dip back down. So we're doing a good job. Amazon is looking more bearish. We need to hold above 204. If not, we're going to be looking for 202. That's where we have previous resistance alongside 200 becoming support. So those are previous resistance areas becoming support. Meta looks more bearish. We need to get back above 565. Otherwise, I see a risk of 557. Microsoft is looking a little bit more bearish. We need to try to reclaim 420. If not, this is like a double top, a bearish divergence, which could be leading to essentially the next support at 414, followed by 411. So watch those supports very carefully. And last but not least, we have Google looking more bearish. We have this gap to fill down here. If we reclaim 175, we could turn back up to 177. If not, if we don't get back above at least 175, I think we come back down to 172 to fill that gap. The VIX is getting a breakout so far. Could the VIX continue to push to fill this gap? Yes, there is more upside potential in this as the market dips. So just keep that in mind, guys. The market is still bearish. We could dip lower, but SPY is approaching the support zone between 585 and 586. We'll have to see if that holds. So be very, very patient with this nonetheless. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. So please have a great day. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, have a great day and peace out.